I am here all by my lonesome. 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 Well, folks, uh, if you saw it earlier, I'm assuming that's why you saw it earlier today, or maybe you just saw us go live. Well, folks, pound for pound, yell. My name is Jonathan. That's why you saw it earlier. You haven't seen me before. Today, I'm going to try something a little bit different, or at least I want to try something a little bit different. See if I can get some of this. Today, I'm going to try something a little bit different, or at least I want to try something a little bit different. See if I can preferences. Today, I'm going to try something a little bit different, or at least I want to try something. See if I can preferences. I am hearing an echo, and I don't know why. Preferences. I am hearing an echo, and I don't know why. Preferences. I am hearing an echo, and I don't know why. I did not hear this yesterday in the stream. Let me remove this real quick. Am I still get this? Yeah, I'm still getting this. Why are you getting this? Oh, I wonder. Um, what about now? Let's see. Do I still get any echo? All right. Let's try this again. At the stage. Done. Yeah, no. We're going to load game. And this is where we left off yesterday in the test stream. So, yeah, essentially what I want this to be, what I would like to be is something that uh, I'm still hearing an echo. What the hell? Um, the thing that I would like for this to be is um, just a way for us to uh, do another stream during the week. Maybe to catch up on some things that have happened throughout the week because obviously we do a live stream on Tuesday. Uh, Certain things happen throughout the week. Um, right, you, yeah. I would agree with you. Uh, yeah, anybody that wants to, obviously, the folks are going to have to give like a grade because that's what they're paid to do, and they give their various justifications as to why they are doing this particular uh, grade on a draft. But it's really kind of foolhardy to uh, try to grade it to grade a draft until you've seen guys not only just get on the field for the first time, but really to really grade, like truly grade a draft. It might take you 2 or 3 years before you can really come to that. So Um, yeah, absolutely. You reached. Who knows? I mean, all the reach part is coming from the consensus big board that gets put out there as kind of a guide for people to where they believe certain players are going to go, and where they believe that certain players should go. Um, and so there's going to be some people that go earlier than they expect, depending on how much earlier they'll call it a reach, or if they go later, then there's great value in the pick. At the end of the day, the value of a pick is when the guy gets on the field. Is he a contributor? If he's a contributor, awesome. If he's not a contributor, it doesn't matter if the guy was the consensus number one overall draft pick. It doesn't matter if the guy was voted to be Mr. Irrelevant. Uh, they're the same guy, at the end of the day. If they don't contribute when they're on the field, that's kind of where we stand. Um, so yeah, I totally agree on judging a draft uh, the day, week, month, or even the a year after the draft is done. I mean, we look at it, and I can tell you from my perspective, uh, I was. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Man, when they drafted Penix at 8, I was like, hell yeah." No, I wasn't. I was just shocked as everybody else, and I was like, my initial thought was, why? You know, and but as I even the night of the draft, like I was the we had some other guys on. We did a live stream that night, and we had some other guys from like the New Millennium Falcons podcast. We had guys from Out of Your Falcon Mind. We had them on there, and yeah, absolutely right. It was it was a situation where I was um, Mike from Out of Your Falcon Minds is like, man, if I ever get in trouble, I want this man defending me. He is defending this Penix pick like super crazy. And the only reason I defend it is because I know, like, I get the idea behind it, right? I get the idea behind the draft. I get the idea behind what their thought process is. And in that scenario, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It just needs to be, you just gotta be patient with it, and let's see let's see what happens over time. All right. So what we're going to do here is so far we have gone through Vault 15. We have cleared out the Rad Scorpions. We have uh, got taken on the Raiders and gotten Tandy, the over or the leader of Shady Sands, his daughter. We got her back. So, what's up, Lieutenant Dan? How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining. Um, like I said, this is I mean, I've probably put maybe 4 or 5 hours in, and gone through I've gone through Vault 15, taking out the Rad Scorpions, taking out the Raiders, and gotten the leader of Shady Sands' daughter back. So we're kind of now in the mode of we still need to go find a water chip for our vault. So I'm going to um, we're going to head to Jumptown and see what's what there. Real quick, I wanna ask, do you guys hear me okay? Is it is it uh, you know is the game too loud? Is absolutely, man. I appreciate it, Lieutenant Dan. Absolutely. I don't know if this will be something that happens every week. Maybe it does. We'll see what the reception's like. Um, But at the end of the day, it's just something that I kind of just felt like I wanted to do. So pop in, say hello. If you can, spend a few minutes with us, cool. If you just want to pop in, say hello, and then bounce, man, I understand. Saturdays, not everybody's got a lazy Saturday. Sometimes people got to do a whole bunch of stuff, or you're working, whatever the case may be. Um, let's see. All right, so we're gonna head to Junktown. Uh, yeah. Uh, let's see. Right, you. I mean, people thought we should have taken Justin Fields. You know, when he was drafted to be the heir apparent to Matt Ryan. They said, "Hey, he'll sit for a couple years behind Matt Ryan. That'd be a great way to start his career." Uh, Matt Ryan was probably making about the same amount of money that Kirk Cousins is making now at the time, but everybody was down for that. And when it didn't happen, everybody pushed us for it. But at the end of the day, we have now put a plan of succession in place. We saw a guy in this quarterback class that we loved, that we really liked, and they went out to Washington. And the story I've heard is they go out to Washington. The balls that they wanted him to throw, NFL balls, were stuck in luggage. So when they got there, they were freezing. They were cold. They were just not in good shape. They couldn't even do it indoors there. They had to do it outside, and it was like 40 degrees and windy and all that stuff. And he was still throwing dots all over the field. Raheem Morris got out there, playing middle linebacker, and they were asking him to do like layered throws, and he was able to do that successfully with no issues. So, and Raheem talks about how he was able to hear the ball going past him. Just super crazy good day for them, and they fell in love with the guy at that point. So, you know, and Andy Reid has said this in the past: is like if you find a guy that you like, specifically with regards to franchise QB, if you find a franchise QB that you like, it doesn't matter if you need him right then or not, you take him because you never know what's going to happen. If things play out exactly the way that we hope they play out with Kirk Cousins, is over the next couple of years, we're not going to be in any real position to get a franchise quarterback type guy without having to give up a boatload of draft picks, maybe even players. I mean, the amount of assets that we believe that we'll have to give up in order to move up that high is super crazy expensive. So it is what it is. We took our guy today, this year, or not today, obviously, but we took our guy this year. He's going to sit for a couple of years. After a couple of years, we have an out in the contract, so we're good to go at that point. All right, let's. Yeah, a little bit. I can see what you're talking about, Dan. Sign and trade. Yeah. I can see it. All right, let's go ahead and let's make the trek to Junktown. See if we can find ourselves a water chip. Way we got stopped. Oh, rad scorpion. Oh, what's my other? Aha. Um, shouldn't be too much. Oh, move back a couple spots. Oh crap! I got to reload, which means I can only use this. Oh, I've been poisoned. Dang it! You jerk. Oh, I don't want your tail. All right. Do I have anything? I'm pretty sure I have at least one antidote, or I should have at least one antidote somewhere. Did I not get them from Raslo? What are you? Grenade. I don't have any antidotes. What is going on? Let's see what's going on around here. No, there's nothing around here. So actually, we're going to go back to Shady Sands, wasting some time. All right, let's go to the entrance. Oh, put our weapon away. Get down here to the docks, and let's get us some antidote. That's what I'm coming to you for. I need healing. Of course you do. Let's see here. You barely hurt. What? I'm poisoned, good sir. You're a bad doctor. Oh, I've been poisoned. Sorry, I don't have the proper. What? Do hold on. Did I never give it to him? Do I not? Son of a. Mm, that's. I gave you these things. All right, so I'm going to take that. Wait. Done. Oops. Let's. Where's my caps at? Caps. 21. Done. Offer. Okay. Talk. I've been poisoned. What the? Okay, here we go. Here, take this as a free sample. It seems to work well against rad scorpion stings. Okay, so I guess I just totally forgot to do that before. Did I not actually go to the rad scorpion cave? Oh, I know I did. Let's see. Inventory. Let's go get the antidote that he gave me. There we go. Done. Did they? Am I still poisoned? Is there any way to tell? Karma, no. Cancel, no. Cancel. Pit boy. Oh, status maybe? Status? Nope. Shady seconds. What does this say? Stop the. Okay, so I did stop the rad scorpions. So that's good. Archives. Oh, well. Let's just take it and see what happens. All right. Okay. Let's head back to. Um, Actually, let's go. No, we're going to go to Jugtown. Definitely going to go to Jugtown. Yeah, I don't want to like. I don't want. Uh, I mean, maybe come this time next year, maybe we'll be looking at it differently. But Shadur Sanders, I heard a lot about him when before he got to Colorado. He got to Colorado. I watched like 2 or 3 games of his. Does he make some splash plays here and there? Absolutely. Does he also make some bad decisions and bad plays? Absolutely. So, I don't know. He didn't super impress me when I was sitting there watching him on Saturdays. Nothing really impressed me about him. Uh, he made too many. Now, again, like I said, we'll see. I didn't even have Jaden Daniels on my radar this time last year. Not even close. So about halfway through the season, the college football season, I started noticing that guy, Jaden Daniels, and he shot up my radar. But like, yeah, I wasn't thinking of him. I wasn't thinking. I actually didn't even think of Michael Penix. It wasn't a guy that was really on my radar as a possible draft pick for the Falcons. But things change, so we'll see what happens come this time next year. Well, this time minus a couple months, we'll see what the end of the season looks like. Hopefully, we're playing deep into the playoffs, or at least into the playoffs. If we get into the playoffs and we're one and done, would that suck? Absolutely. But if we get, especially if we get into the playoffs off a division win, and we win the NFC South, winning the NFC South and making it into the playoffs is all I really need to happen this coming season. Past that, I'm cool with if something goes wrong when we get in there and we lose out the first game. If we go in there and we are competitive and it's a hard fought game and you just come out on the wrong end of it, okay, that happens. And while I wouldn't exactly enjoy it, I'd be okay with it. You know. Now the following year, I'd want a little bit more, and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Is as we move through the couple of years with Cousins, we see let's win the division next year. Let's get into the playoffs. Whatever happens in the playoffs happens in the playoffs. Toss the dice, whatever. And then the following year, I want to win the division again because I don't think we've won the division 2 years in a row ever. It took a long time before anybody did, and so I would like to win the division a couple of years in a row. And then, but the second year, I would expect at least a playoff win, maybe get to the NFC Championship game. Would be my hopes. And if we go to the NFC Championship game and lose, and then the following year is Michael Penix, it's the Michael Penix show after that, I'd be down with that. I'd be totally down with that. All right, let's head to Junktown. Oh, Junktown is a long trek. Can't believe we didn't get stopped again on the way there. All right, let's get in there. All right. Who are you, sir? You are a Junktown guard. Welcome to Junktown. What can I do for you? Um, what are you doing here? What is this place? What does it look like? I'm a guard and I'm keeping an eye out for strangers like you. And this place is called Junktown. Hey, don't laugh. I happen to like the name myself. Mostly do trading. Uh, we mostly do trading. Sometimes we trade with those stuck up bastards from the hub. Hey, you're not from the hub, are you? What, the hub? Sure I am. Me, no, I'm not from the hub. Okay, it's not our place to ask questions. Have a good day and don't make any trouble. All right, let's head on in. Who are you? See a heavily muscled, scarred man with a mustache. All right. Let's go say hey to the heavily muscled, scarred man with a mustache. I didn't mean to walk that close to you, sir. I'm sorry. I'll take a step back. All right. Can I help you, stranger? So what's there to do around here? Can you give me a big picture on Junktown? Who are you? I'm the head of the guards here in Junktown. Name's Lars. For that matter, who are you, stranger? I'm Jonathan. Welcome to Junktown, Jonathan. What can I help you with? Can you fill me in on Junktown? Just looking for something to do. Got any suggestions? Let's see. Me and my men here work for Killian Dark. We keep some order in this town. Dealing with all the murderers, thieves, and other scumbags who come in from the desert. If you want my advice, you'll also stay away from Gizmo. That fathead runs a crooked operation, but we just haven't been able to prove anything. He and his lackeys, the Skulls, are going to take the fall sometime soon. If Killian has anything to say about it. Good to know that someone's keeping the peace around town. So what keeps you law boys from just busting Gizmo and the Skulls? Got to do it all proper, like. We need that, or we know that Gizmo runs a rigged operation, and all, but we need hard evidence to bring him down. Same with the Skulls. They rough someone up. We bring one or two of them, but nothing changes. We just don't have any direct evidence tying them to any of the killings, or maybe I can help with that. Hell, if you think you can get some dirt on either of them, we'd appreciate the help. Killian's the one to talk to if you want to talk about Gizmo. But if you can get some info on the skulls, just come back to me, and me and the boys will take care of it. All right. Where? Oh, actually, just talking about. Okay. What? Let's see. Boy status. Jumptown. Bust the skulls game. All right. Guys, another quest here. Let's see. Let's take a look in here. See what's in here. Junk room guard or junk room Junktown guard. Let's okay, who are you? The Junktown guard. Another Junktown guard. Where's Killian Darkwater? Let's go talk. This is Junktown. Nice place to live. As long as you stay on our good side. Watch out for Gizmo and his cronies. Town, nice place to live. Watch out for Gizmo and his cronies. Okay. So I guess this is like the barracks, the guardhouse. All right. All right. Got some Brahmin over here. All right. Who are you? Andrew. Say hey to Andrew. Are you just a Junktown resident? You're a Junktown. All right. Can I help you? Who are you? I'm Andrew. My job is to guard the jail. What are you doing? I'm guarding the jail. Make sure that miscreants don't get in or out. Why would you keep people from getting in the jail? Someone might leave something to help a prisoner escape, or someone might get locked inside and stuck until we can get the keys. Oh, you have a good day. Stay out of trouble. This the jail. Uh, oops, let's go here. That's a wall. What is this? Let's go over here. Chucktown Citizen. This is my place. This is my place. Want to hang out for a while? Let's see. Boxes. Boxes are falling apart. A bed. A bed matter. Bed matters in terrible condition. Even the rats will sleep. Oh, mattress. So that's supposed to be. Bed has seen a lot of use and wear. Something must have crawled between the mattresses and died too. What is this? Table made from wood. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go over here. What is this place? Well, let me see the. Okay, so let's go in here. Oops. Doc Morbid's assistant Cougar. Flash. Doc Morbid. How's it going? Good. And you? The Cougar is always fine. Hey, I gotta know. You need to talk to my man Flash here. He can help you out. All right, let's talk to Flash. What is up, the doctor? I won't have to get medieval on your face. Okay. Weather we're having, huh? Talk to the doc. I'm Doc Morbid. Doc Morbid. Can I help you? Yeah. I need some. Let's have a look. You see, in nearly perfect health. That will be $10. 10 caps for the examination. 10 caps for you? Tell me that? Yeah, you kidding? No joke. Especially when it comes to physical trauma. You will pay, or I'll have to resort to other forms of compensation, many of which are much more painful uh, than just paying my fee. Okay, here's your money for your business. Come again. Alrighty then. Nice to meet you, Doc. Let's see. Oh, Junktown's not as big as I thought it was going to be, or maybe it's segmented. Oops. Yeah, I'm busy. Leave me alone. All right. Yes, sir. General store, huh? Who are you? Junktown Guard. Another Junktown Guard. Yep. So let's go in the doorway here to the general store. Oh, I bet you this is Darkwater. Huh?
Can I help you?
Yeah. Who are
My
you?
name's Killian Darkwater. I'm the mayor of this fine town. And who might you be? Not much up that way except desert and shady sands. You from there?
No, my village is a little west in the mountains.
Yeah, if you say so. So, what do you need?
Uh, Barter. Let's see. Do you have any? Oh, you got a bunch of caps. All right. Let's. Oops. Nope. So we're gonna hold on to that for a minute. 1,100 caps. Let's do all. All right. So we need another what? Or 500 caps. Oh, we'll see. What do you got here? That's all you got, huh? Um. So another 400 caps. Done. OMT. Falcons and Fallout. What is this gift? Uh, uh, it's just I've been wanting to stream a video game for a while. Never got around to it. But I figured like they're two of my favorite things to do: talk Falcons, play video games, and I don't know if you guys have seen the recent Fallout TV show, but I watched that. Show is awesome. The entire season was there might have been one episode that really like the first two episodes were probably the in hindsight the weakest episodes. Probably second episode was the weakest of all 8 episodes, but, like, that says something when that's a pretty good episode. The rest of the episodes are far and away, uh, better, and just everything about that show. Anyways, so that show comes out. I've been kind of in a Fallout mood lately. I've been playing a little bit of 76, Fallout 4, even, booting up 3 and New Vegas a little bit. And I decided, I wanted to stream a video game and do a thing where, hey, if people want to talk about the Falcons, we can talk about the Falcons, the NFL in general. We can talk about. We can talk about the game. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But it's just an extra stream during the week to talk about, whatever we want to talk about. Probably mostly focused on Falcons and or the game at the time. In this case, Fallout. And I've never beaten Fallout, the original Fallout. I don't think I've actually even beaten any of the Fallout games. I've played 3, New Vegas, 4, quite a bit. I have played this one and 2 in the past. I've played Tactics in the past. I just never got around to beating any. So just, figured, let's do a couple things that I really enjoy doing, playing video games and talking Falcons football, and see if anybody else is interested in it. If y'all are, cool. Maybe something we do on a more consistent basis. If it's not, then it may be something we just pull out every now and then when I have a hang. We'll see. Uh, so far seems like at least some people enjoy watching me fumble around and fall out for a bit, try to make my way and not get see how it goes. Offer, yes, I am drowning in some caps now. 1,012 caps. Although, yeah, try to buy like 5 stim packs and that'll all be gone. But I'm doing pretty good. I got some metal armor. I got a hunting rifle. I've got an SMG. I've got my 10 millimeter pistol. I got some drugs, buff out. Got a spear in here too. Yeah, spear. So yeah, that's what that's what this gift is. OMT. VTW. Well, look, man. I'll tell you right now. My thought process going into this draft was we were going to pick one of Latu, Turner first. My preference personally was Latu. I felt like he was the most like plug and play, ready to go NFL talent. He was the first defensive guy off the board in the draft, so plenty of people thought that way. Um, but at the end of the day, we still went out and got Braylon Trice, who that dude for where we got him in the third round. A lot of people pictured him as a second round talent. Um, maybe early third, but a lot of people had him as a second round talent. And so getting him in the third, extreme crazy value. Dorless, I thought was either going to be gone in late second, early third, maybe mid third. But getting him in the fourth was huge value. So you get those two guys, Rook, Orohoro. Um, I'll admit, like when his name popped up, I was expecting Johnny Newton. I was expecting maybe even Tawandre Sweat. Not really, because DUI kind of took him off the radar because that's just what we are with Arthur Blank as the owner. It is. Um, and I'm fine with that 99.9% of the time. Every now and then, I think it maybe bites us a little bit, but it is what it is. And I think we came out of this draft uh, with good uh, defensive pass rush talent. And we also came out of it with a potential, what we believe and what the front office believes, at least, a franchise quarterback for the future. So, at the end of the day, uh, it doesn't really matter where you get your pass rush from. Would I have loved to have Latu on this team? Absolutely. If I had been in charge of the draft, would I have taken him even at 8? Absolutely. But that's me. I can almost guarantee Raheem came in his interview with Arthur Blank and the rest of the guys in the front office, like, and from what I understand, he actually said this the same thing back when he was the interim coach, and then he interviewed for the head coaching job. Then he flat out said, like, we need a succession plan in place. Like, we need something like this in place so that we are not in QB purgatory when Matt Ryan done. With, whether that was a year, 2 years, 3 years, it turned out to be, uh, 1 year later, we were trading him, um, and really, he probably should have retired then because, the year in Indianapolis did not look good at all. Uh, some of that was just, what was supposed to be one of the best offensive lines in football just didn't work for whatever reason. Um But at any rate, Raheem, his whole thing was, "I'm going to make sure the QB is taken care of." Like, that was his plan. Whether that he knew for a fact it was gonna be Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, probably not, but he knew, "I wanna get a veteran starter, I wanna get a guy in the draft, whether it's this year, next year, whatever, like, I want to make sure that is not an issue going forward, that we know where we're going." So, and quarterback is the most important, position in football. So, until you get that right, you're kinda stuck. You're kinda stuck with it. So, until you get that quarterback. All right. Let's see. How about let's see. How about telling me a bit about this town?
Junktown's not much, but it's home. Mostly we trade with people or let them forget their troubles for a bit. Of course, we have our share of problems.
Problems?
From outside, we've had the occasional to do with the cons, but they've been pretty quiet lately. Inside, trouble's been from the skulls. And I hear some strange things happening down by the hub, but they haven't affected us yet. Knock on my mother in law's head. You bet.
Do you own this
May not
store?
be as big as some in the hub, but people usually find what they're looking for. Take a look around.
Hold
You
on.
again. What do you want now?
What's there to do around here?
Tons to do. The scum pit's on the east side by the entrance. Great drinking place. Gizmos is near there. And if you're hurting, Doc Morgan's your man. Well, if we're too fast for you, just pass on by, pal. It is pal, ain't it?
There won't be anything exciting in town.
But you obviously have me confused with someone who has to take your lip. Why don't you come back when your mama teaches you some manners?
Maybe that wasn't the right way to go about that.
You again. What do you want now?
I want to buy
That's
some.
a damn fine coincidence. That's what this store's here for. We got about everything you can need. Let me show you some.
Oh, okay. Wow. Nope. It's got everything I need. Yeah, the things I just sold you, sir, and a gun that I already have, and a bunch of caps that I don't need at the moment. So your store's kind of crap. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, your store is kind of crap. Let's see. Is there anything I can sell you to take some more caps off your hands? Well, hold on. Dynamite. I'll just give you this. Let's see. Zero. Offer. What's that offer? Thank you. That's all there was. That's all you had in your store? Oh. Whoa. 24 hit points. You're still up. You are. Why you guys got to get right next to him? I'm scared I'm going to hit you. Yep, just like that. Well, we'll see how this ends. Hopefully, they don't try to shoot me. Oh, come on now. Dang it. That's. And I haven't saved in a minute. Jesus. This is not good. Uh, BTW, no talent in the trenches. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the offensive line is one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. Yeah, we all talk about McGarry. He's being like kind of the weakest link, specifically in pass protection. In the run game, not so much. Dahlman is a better guy. And so, yeah, the trenches on the offensive line, good. And then on the defensive side, I mean, we got Grady Jarrett coming back now. That he is getting up there, in the years, but he's not super duper old. But he's coming back from a knee injury. We still got David Onyemata. There's still a chance we could bring back Calais, but we'll see how that rolls. But we just drafted Braylon Trice. We just drafted Dorless. We just drafted Orohoro. We still got Taquan Graham, Arnold Ebiketie, Carter. You know, didn't even want to add potentially like a Troy Anderson as an outside linebacker slash rusher. Uh, we just got the Bertram kid. Like the we beefed up the defensive line through the draft, and like honestly, if those guys at least contribute and are at least part of a rotation and that kind of stuff, then I think we're in a good position to be completely honest. I did not want to fight these guys. I did not want to fight these guys, man. God bless. Ugh. This is that was not cool. I've gotta oh, well, first of all, let's go back down here. Go ahead and get the barter. I think I had to buy some of these off of him. Let's do the one ton. Give caps. Done. Offer. Talk. I've been poisoned. Okay. And then let's talk to you again. I have a sample. Done. Give me a sample. All right. I got that. All right. Actually, let's go there. Reload that. Let's go to Junktown. Well, before I do that, so let's was it F6. Uh, yep. Yep. All right. Save it there. Save it when I get into Junktown. See if we make it all the way to Junktown. Oh, we did not. Or we even got to the mountains. Oh, what hit me? What hit me? Oh, you managed to avoid a serious case of dehydration by searching for water. The search takes an additional 2 hours. You were hit for no damage. Okay. Combat. That was weird. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. All right, so um, I just think that we went tight end, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, because when in those particular drafts, when we're looking at the our big board as a front office as a team, um, I like I said, if it had been me doing this draft and we got to number 8, I would have I would have gone with I would have gone with Latu, but if we'd have picked Turner, I wouldn't have been mad about that. If we picked Verse, I wouldn't have been mad about that. Though I think Turner and Latu were probably the 2 top picks out of those top 3 guys. So, whether it was Turner, whether it was Latu, really didn't matter. I would have picked one of those guys. I would have personally picked Latu, but then I would love to now see Ebiketie on one side, Latu on the other side. I'd be down with either one of those with that tandem running. So I totally see that, and I get where you're coming from on that. I totally get it, but also shoring up the one the one spot on the roster that if you don't have a guy there, then your team doesn't go anywhere, and that being the QB room, like, making sure that you're good there and then getting everything else you need around that, to me, that seems like one of the most, like, wise things you can do. Until you have a quarterback, you kinda don't have a team. Like, that's what it boils down to, and you can look at say, some people may say, "Well, look at San Francisco, they got Mr. Relevant." Well, obviously, that guy's proving to be that he's not. He should have been probably drafted before the last pick. But he's a guy that, at bare minimum, can at least get the ball out, and you got plenty of playmakers. He played in big games throughout the season. He played in big games in the playoffs, and he looked good doing it. So, whether you like the Brock Purdy or not, I mean, that guy looks the part. And until you have a guy like that, you're not going to go anywhere in the NFL. And that's today's NFL. That's uh, the NFL 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Until you had a quarterback back then, you kind of weren't going to go anywhere. It was maybe less of a thing a couple years ago, or like 30, 40 years ago, but it was still a thing. Today, in today's NFL, if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. You could have the best. I mean, if we want to look back, how many times have we seen Cleveland, specifically Cleveland, probably over the past decade? They've, if not the best, they have routinely ranked in the top like five, no lower than 10 in defense for a decade now. They've had the defense there. And they've had decent offensive talent. They just couldn't find the guy behind, under center. And because of that, that team has looked lost for forever. Even with a good defense, even with offensive talent, you don't have that quarterback that can get him the ball, that can make guys miss in the backfield, in the pocket, move around the pocket good, maybe sometimes get out and create on the outs on the perimeter. Um, not a every game thing, but just something that when you need it, he can do it. Once you got a guy like that, you're not going anywhere in the NFL. You're not. So making sure that QB room is taken care of is probably and if it's not, it should be the number one priority of any NFL team. I mean, it's much easier to find. So I'll say probably the second hardest thing to find in the NFL is like the alpha, the Khalil Macks, the Joey Bosa's, those guys. They tend to stand out, so they're not hard to find. It's hard to get, uh, and potentially even harder to keep sometimes. But it's still far easier to find pass rush than it is to find a legitimate franchise quarterback. So until you do, you're always on the hunt for it. And it may take you a while to find it sometimes, but hopefully it doesn't take us. Hopefully we've found the guy. And I really like Michael Penix. And if he turns out to be what we hope he is, then we're set for the next decade plus at quarterback. Cousins for the first couple years, maybe a third year if he's playing really, really good. But the last 2 years of his contract, of the 4-year contract for Cousins, it's like $57.5 million per year. I don't know if he's gonna get that. He'll get the remaining 10 or $12 million. It is whatever it is. The third year, he'll get that much, and then we'll cut him and save something like $30 million. So I expect Penix to start in 2026. That's when I expect the Penix era to take place. Let's go to Jumptown. Good you ask. No weapons can be drawn except in self-defense. If you start a fight, it's your fault. Other than that, it's your right to go around armed. Just don't pull a knife or gun without just cause. Have a good day. What it would look like. I'm a guard and I'm keeping my eye out for strangers like you. And this place is called Junktown. Hey, don't laugh. I happen to like it. Okay, so we already me. No, I'm not from the hub. Done. Uh, F6. Oh, nice. Into Junktown. All right. What's there to do around here? Plenty, so long as you stay on your good side. We got Killian Darkwater Store where you can do some trading. And there's Gizmo's Casino if you're a gambler or if you just want to drink. You can head over to the Scum Pit. Just don't get too rowdy. Hey, I like. Thanks. Who are you? Oh yeah, that's Lars. For that matter, who are you, stranger? Jonathan. Uh, Ian. Got to do it proper like. Maybe I can help with that. If you can get some dirt on either of them, we'd appreciate the help. Killian's the one to talk to if you want Gizmo. But if you can get some info on and take info on the skulls, just come back to me, and me and the boys will go take care. All right. So we'll do F6. Uh, yes, and we'll call this uh, quick save. If I hit F6 again, yeah. All right. Okay, so we went in here. This was just nothing but guards, right? Yeah, this is just nothing but guards. I think this is the only guy that actually gave me any kind of actual dialogue. Oh, I like that. Nope. All right. That's the jail. This is just some dude's house. What's out here? Well, VTW. So, and like I said, I totally understand that point of view. I think the problem was is that they didn't fall in love with the Penix pick until I'm gonna say um, I might have found where the echo is coming from. Haha, found it. All right. Um, I think, but here's what I'll say: if you had a quarterback like Cousins last year, not even for the last couple of years, if we just talked last year, if we had Cousins on this team last year, this team wins 11 to 12 games, easy. Okay, because the chances are that those last two games against the Bucks and the Panthers, they don't even come down to the last drive. because the offense is going to be, you know, 100 times better just from having Cousins. You know, just from having Cousins. Cousins is 10 times or more the quarterback that both the guys we had last year are combined. So I mean, you could say that, but at the end of the day, you bring in Cousins because Cousins has been that consistent. Now, whether or not he's still that here, we don't know. It may turn out that it was a bad choice to make that payment, but that's the price that you pay to like to bring in a guy that you believe. And if we look at Cousins last year, dude, if he had continued his season through, you know, and not gotten injured, and let's just say that he continued on that pace for the rest of the season, he was going to be battling it out with Lamar Jackson for MVP. I mean, that's what it boils down to. He was going to likely be in the you know, the conversation for MVP in that scenario. So that's the caliber of quarterback you're bringing in, and that's the caliber of quarterback that you bring in that says, "I want to win now." We believe that with him alone, with the other offensive weapons, and you know, we brought in Mooney, we brought in the guy out of Arizona, name is escaping me, Rondale Moore, brought him in. You know, we got this kid in the draft. I don't expect him to do anything. Maybe you know, maybe special teams, or at least he better be on special teams if he wants to make the squad as a 6th round pick. So at the end of the day, I think we have you know, then we still have Bijan, we still have Tyler, you know, Algier, we still have Kyle Pitts. So still having those guys, I think this offense immediately is way better. We're probably, I'm going to say, average like 24 ish points a game, and maybe even more, maybe 26. Um, Maybe 27. But I think we're going to be in that range. And if you look back at last year, if we scored that many points on average in every game we lost, chances are we were going to win that game. So you bring in Cousins, you pay him that big money to get you back into the mode of being a winning franchise. You win for a couple years with him. You're never going to be back in there to get a franchise quarterback, or if you do, it's going to cost you like 9 picks, you know, to go from the 20s where you're expecting to pick all the way up to the top 10, maybe even top 5. I mean, it's going to be a absolutely ridiculous amount of capital to move up there. And so you either do one of two things. You either give all that capital up at that time, or you say, like, well, he's retiring. We're going to have to tank now so that we can get that high pick by losing a whole bunch of games. I mean, it's one or the other. And I would much rather have a successor in place so that when the time comes to move on from him, whether it's his choice, our choice, doesn't matter. Uh, Whenever that time comes, we have a guy that we have been grooming, that we have been educating, we have been developing, making sure he's as comfortable as he can possibly be with the offense that he's going to be dropped into, and say, all right, now it's your team. Let's go win some games. And I'd much rather be in that position than be in the, okay, well, we got Kirk Cousins, but we only got him for maybe a couple of years, maybe 3 years, 4 years max, and then we're trying to figure out the QB position again. Yeah, I would much rather have that thing taken care of because we can figure out what to do on the defensive side. There's, yes, do I want a Latu, a Turner reverse? Yes, I do. Do I want an alpha dude? Yes, I do. I think next year's draft is actually a better year for defensive. What I'm hearing is next year's draft is better defensive draft than this one was, with a lot more like alpha guys. I would absolutely agree with letting Abichetti get more snaps. Like percentage win rate for that guy. I mean, he almost he was like a half a sack shy. No, he was tied for the team lead in sacks with like 30% of the snaps. It was super crazy. But Bud Dupree and Campbell having so many. I have nothing wrong with Campbell taking a bunch of snaps at all. he should be on the other side because he wanted to play defensive end. So you put him at defensive end on one side. You put Arnold Ebiketie as like your you know, linebacker slash defensive end on the other side, and you let them do their thing. But I think the thing was, is that when you brought in Campbell and Dupree, they were guys that were going to give you a bunch of play against the run. Ebiketie still wasn't playing the run as well. And I think that was probably the thing that kept him off the field more than anything else was in the run game. He was more of a liability than he was a benefit. So hopefully he's working on that, getting better with it. But yeah, he if he wants to be on the field for more than just designated pass rushing uh, time frames, then yeah, uh, he's going to need to be able to play the run better. But I absolutely agree. I would love to see him get more snaps. 100%. What up, Willie? Yeah, this is it's two of my favorite things, man. I like to play video games and I like to talk about Falcons football. So we can talk about it. You guys get to watch me fumble around in a video game, and I'm doing an older. I kind of wanted to do Fallout 4, but when I did a test stream for this yesterday, Fallout 4 would seem to be running okay. Then it would hitch up, not for me, for you guys. It was if I was just basing it off of what I saw, it was perfectly fine. What you guys would have seen would have been very choppy. Then it would have gotten cleaner. Then it would have gotten choppy. It was just back and forth. It just wasn't stable. A game like this, much more stable. So until I can figure out a better way to get a better stream to you guys, maybe some older games if we continue to do this that are just less taxing and therefore it's a better experience just watching it in general than it is if I try to do something like Fallout 4 or Fallout 76, which is kind of what my original thought for this came from was I would like to play Fallout 76 on stream with you guys. Uh, yeah, just here is here to hang out, watch me play some video games, talk a little bit of Falcons football, or if you want to talk something going on in the NFL or the game or gaming or just really any topic. We can discuss most topics. There might be some that I'm like, we're not going to talk about that here, but I would really like to keep any kind of political talk out of here. So anything short, there's a whole lot of things we can talk about. That not being one of them. Uh, so but yeah, just want to sit here and hang with you guys. I'll probably stream for another 45 minutes or so, and then today will be like a 2 hour stream. If you guys really like it, let us know in the comments, like and subscribe. Hit that little thumbs up button. And if we get enough support for this, then maybe it's something we do, more often. But we'll see. Um, Here's what I will say. I think he would like to play today? Absolutely. What I will say is this: we had already signed Cousins. Once we signed Cousins, okay, and then we went to various quarterbacks. So like I know that Drake May and JJ McCarthy both declined our offer of a individual like a workout with us. Okay, same thing that happened when we went to Washington. We would have gone to his school or wherever he wanted to do it. We would have done it there, just the same way we did out in Washington. But they declined because they knew that if we drafted them, they were probably going to sit for at minimum a year to 2 years. Okay, they knew that. And so going into this, Penix had to have known that too, yet he still said, hey, let's do it. So he knows the situation he's coming into. He knows where we currently stand when it comes to the quarterback. and he still accepted it, and he still, and he still blew us away. Had probably had a good idea that we might pick him. So like he didn't shy away from it. Whereas McCarthy, Drake May, maybe even another one here or there, uh, declined because they knew that if we drafted him, they weren't going to start day one. They were going to sit for at minimum a year, but probably 2 years, maybe even 3 years. And Penix was still okay with that. He knew the score going in and still said, "Let's do it." And so I think he is a guy that is a does he want to play? Yes, but he also wants to do what's best for the team. And right now, what's best for the team is him sitting and learning, not necessarily having Cousins sit him down and be like, "Look, you need to do this, this, this," but just sit and watch Kirk Cousins absorb and soak in everything he can from this guy. Watch him as he goes about being a pro day in and day out. How he handles travel on away games, how he handles this stuff, but just watching him and seeing how he does it, asking questions, all those things. I think the experience of that for 1 to 2, maybe as many as 3. I honestly don't think it goes more than 2, unless things are going extraordinarily good. But if they are, and we go into a third year with Cousins as a starting quarterback, I don't think it makes it past the third. I think after no more than 3 years, and I think at that point he is a 39-year-old quarterback. You say, "Look, man, we really appreciate you, but we have to move forward with Penix." But you try to do that and see how things work out. But I think it's 2 years is where the sweet spot is. Let him sit for a couple of years, then you move in, and that saves the team the most amount of money. And it also gives your quarterback, your heir apparent, the a couple of years to sit and really soak in things and become much more accustomed to the NFL and the offense in general. So I think he was fine with 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years. Absolutely. He's an upgrade. I said this earlier. He's an upgrade over Ritter and Heineke put together, like combined easily. Oh no, I said that about Cousins, but I'll say it about Penix. Penix is an upgrade over Ritter. He's an upgrade over Heineke. Uh, and even if you were to take those two guys, put them together, and make one amalgamation of a quarterback, he's still a way better quarterback than either than that particular entity. So, all right, where am I at here? All right, let's go. Wait a minute. What is this? It's just a wooden wall. I can't go in here. No, can't go in here. And this was Doc Morbid's office. Okay. All right. Quick save. That was just some dude's place. This was Dark Wall. This was Killian's. I'll say this: that we're getting Rondale Moore, a guy who is, I think he's actually still younger than Ritter. Like he's been in the league for a few years, and he's still younger than Ritter, somehow, or is about the same age, whatever. But at the end of the day, like getting Rondale Moore for Ritter, I think is an absolute steal for us. He's the kind of guy I could see, uh, you know, being our trick play guy, but also a guy that is a really good screen guy. He's a really good slot guy to get in there and kind of be a little bit shifty. I really really want a really shifty slot receiver guy. I want an Edelman. I want one of those guys. And if Rondell Moore could be that for us, I love it. That's kind of the reason why I wanted either Pearsall or McConkey in the draft. Uh, I would have loved to have had Xavier Worthy, but like McConkey and Pearsall really come across as like the Julian Edelman style of wide receiver that can get in and out of breaks really good, really quickly, and just make it really, really hard on a slot corner to cover him, like with any kind of consistency. So I really, really want one of those guys because they seem to torment the hell out of us so many times, and we never have that kind of guy, and it just makes me upset whenever time I think about it. All right, we are going to go into this door. Go in here. Wait, where'd he go? Uh, what? He was in here before. Is he down here somewhere? Where the hell is Killian at? Um, what in the hell? Hold on. Okay, I'll watch out for Gizmo and his cranes, but I mean, this is Junktown. All right, let's go talk to. I don't know. Darkwater was in there, man. I just remember this being this guy. Yeah, just like, where did I put that thing? I mean, that's what we've heard from the team. The team has said they plan to run a 3-4, but that could be like there's all kinds of different ways of running it. So is it going to look like a traditional, like, uh, the Baltimore Ravens of, greatest defense of all time, 3-4 defense? Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. There's a tight front that I've heard about. I don't know like the specifics of it. I know JR's more he's kind of looked into that more than I have. So he would know more, but there is that tight front that has been talked about where you um, you know use some bigger, beefier guys. So who knows? Uh, but that's what I've heard. 3-4 is supposed to be kind of where we're sitting at come next year or come this upcoming season. So did you come back home, Killian? Do I need to reload this? Well, let's see what happened. Let's see if he's there now. It's called Dark Waters. All right. Watch out for Gizmo. I like my boss. All right. Is your boss at work where he's supposed to be? Where is he? Oops. Did not mean for that to happen. Is he hanging out somewhere else? I don't think there's anything else really here. Well, there's some more stuff around. What are you? What is this? Steel wall. Where are you? Junktown guard. All right. Metal barrel. Burning paper and other flaming stuff. Okay. The crash house. All right. This is like an inn. Welcome to the crash house. How can I help you, stranger? Look for some info. No thanks. She has a really weird way of sleeping, standing straight up. I like it. What's in the bookcase? Nothing. I expect that what okay. I don't know if I would say expect when it comes to pits. What I would hope we see is something much closer to what Matt Ryan and Pitts did in 2021, his rookie year. If we can just get that version of Pitts again, then I will be completely happy. Because that is, you know, first of all, like seeing him be able to get back to that after the injury again will make me happy. So there's that, but that's really all I need. I don't need him to be super crazy, freak athlete or freak where he gets like 2,000 yards or anything like that. I just need him to get 1,000 to 1,200 yards. Give me that, and we'll be golden. Who are you, and what are you doing here? I'm Jonathan. I'm new to this town. None of your business, wench. Since everyone knows that this is the territory of the skulls, you'd better beat it before someone decides to hurt you. Sorry, I thought this was the bathroom. The skulls? Who are they? That's us. We're the meanest gang in town. Actually, we're the only gang, but nobody messes with us. So you pretty much have run of the town. You bet. Nobody messes with us. Well, except for Killian. But he's cool and all. He's like the sheriff, man. We do whatever we want. Why do you hang out? Who all is in the gang? Well, there's Victor and Shark, who hangs out at the Scum Pit. Vinny too, and a couple other guys who stop by from time to time. Where's the Scum Pit? Oh, the Scum Pit is a sleazy bar north of here, near Gizmo's Casino. So, what is it that you guys do? We just hang out. Sometimes we play games at Gizmos, or we have some fun over at the Scum Pit. Sometimes we do odd jobs for Gizmo, or for some traveler. Victor, Victor likes stalking people too. That's nice. Come to think of it, you might want to stay away from him. Understood. You work for Gizmo. What can you tell me about him? Willie Doc, man, yes, we owned a Genesis way back in the day, um, but I've been I think one of the very first video game systems I ever owned. My mom gave me or bought us um, an old Pong machine, and me and my brother would mess around with that. And then we got like the Ataris and things like that. The premise of Fallout is This it takes place in a retro futuristic or a retro future where after World War II, things like the transistor, like that allowed for miniaturization for us to make things smaller, didn't occur for this world. So you see a lot of vacuum tubes everywhere. That's why everything's kind of bulky. But what did advance far more than ours was atomic energy. And then sometime in the 20, I think it's 20, excuse me, 2077. So currently about 50 years into our future, um, the World War III happened, the bombs fell, and uh, some people were able to make it into these underground vaults to wait out the bombs dropping and the fallout from those bombs. And so you play as a vault dweller whose vault has had a problem with their water chip that purifies the water that they use. And so you have, or it's part of a machine that does that. And so they have asked you to go out into the wasteland, and this is taking place some, I want to say it's like 100 years ish, 120 years after the bombs fell. Could be wrong on the time frame, but in this one, you leave the vault, you go out, and try to find a replacement water chip for your vault. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to see if I can find one, and that's what I'm kind of in Junktown to try to find out what's going on, who I can who may know of a water chip, that kind of stuff. So like, and I've only got a certain amount of time to get them that water chip back, or else I fail the game. So I think I've got like 120 something days left, maybe a little bit less than that now. Tecmo Bowl, Tyson, Mike Tyson Punch Out, Mario Brothers, Double Dribble, all those were awesome. I don't remember playing Gunsmoke, but I knew of it. Yeah. Yeah, I had we eventually got a PS1. I had a PS2. Now I personally never had a Wii, but my brother-in-law he had one, so I got to mess around with it there. But I've had Xbox 360. I've had a PS4. I've got I had an Xbox One. I've got an Xbox Series X right now. But I mostly game on, or not mostly, but I game on PC. I also have one of these things. It's the ROG Ally, and I play a good bit on that too especially when I'm just relaxing on my couch, or whatever. So yeah, those are absolute, like, probably Tecmo Bowl and Punch Out. Like, I could sit down and probably play those by themselves for days upon days upon days upon days, and almost never get uh, tired of either one of them. So I love both those games. And I've still played those both of those games on my Switch. So I've got a Nintendo Switch that I play on as well, and I've played both those games on that. So and here, this is on my gaming laptop that I currently have. So I've got a bunch of different ways to play video games, and I even play games on my phone. Like, a good way to, like, when I don't want to get super immersed or super in depth with anything right then, I'll play on my phone. I have no problems doing that at all. Let's see. He's a huge fat guy who runs the casino. He wants to run Junktown, but Killian keeps him in line. He pays pretty well though. Occasionally, he hires Vinny or Victor to deal with people for him, um, if they've been a problem, like one stranger who showed up here a few weeks ago. Why do you hang out with these guys? We're like a family. We take care of each other. Well, except for Shark, who's always breaking things, and Victor, who looks at people funny. But Vinny is cool, and we do stuff together. We're like friends and stuff. Okay, thanks. Just another bedroom. Hey, Willie Doc, man, I appreciate it. Definitely did not have to do that, but I very much appreciate the $2. Uh, just I have to do this. I haven't figured out a good way to do this, so I'll get better with this over time. But appreciate it, Willie. There we go. All right, let's get out of here. I don't think there's anything else above this, but let's see. Let's go over here. Make my way back to Killian's in a bit. See if he decides he wants to show up for work. Oh, member of the Skulls gang, a gang member. Oh, this is where they hang out, huh? Let's not mess around with them for the moment. Who's in here? All right, Killian. I've messed around a little bit here. Let's. Are you back at work now? Come on. I need you to be back at work, sir. Uh, 49ers and Packers 1 and 2. I can see it. Have us being third best. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I would honestly say right now the two best teams in the NFC are. I mean, I'm going to say the 49ers because they just made it to the Super Bowl and they're bringing a lot of the same guys back. They just kept adding to that defensive line. So um, I'm going to say 49ers won. I would say I would actually probably put the Lions ahead of the Packers, to be completely honest. That's what I would personally do, but that's we'll see. Maybe the Packers take that jump and get up to number two. So I would say Lions two, probably Packers three. Um, I can see the Falcons maybe being like four. Uh, I mean, we'll see, but yeah, I wouldn't have any qualms with like three, four, five, somewhere in that range. Is I think maybe where we end up. Um, uh, either one of those, I could see. Like I said, three, four, five is about where I hope that we end up landing. I mean, we've had this hope before, and it just didn't quite work out. So let's see how it goes. All right, all right, Killian, I need you to be home, sir. There you are. All right, real quick. Quick save. Yep, yep. All right.
Can I help you?
Let's see. Who are
My
you?
name's Killian, Killian Darkwater. I'm the mayor of this fine town. And who might you be?
My name is Jonathan.
It's up that way, sub desert and Sands. You from there?
I come from a vault to the west.
Oh, yeah, sure you do. And when you were a baby, your crib was a safe.
Oh, it's called a vault. It protects us from the war. It's been full of people for 80 years.
Don't feel bad. Ain't the worst story I've been told. So, what can I do for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like I said, I said this earlier in the stream. I think if you take the exact same team from last year, and the only change you made was put Kirk, obviously without the injury, but if you put Kirk Cousins on that team from last year, that team goes from a 7-10 team to what, a 12-5 team, 11-6 team, easy. There were like three or four games that, and granted, there were some of those games were the defense let us down, but also the offense didn't continue to add on. So you put Cousins on those teams on that team last year, it's at minimum I think 11 wins, minimum 11. So you're going to win. And if we win 11 games last year, we win the division. If we win the division, we're automatically the number 4 team in the AFC. So if we go and win the division, we're automatically number 4. Doesn't matter about the record. I know some people don't necessarily like that, but I mean that's what you get for being able to win your division. If you can't win your division, then you don't get a home game. I mean, it is what it is. Some people want to do reseeding like they do in the NBA, but I think that takes away everything that working in playing in the right. It takes away some of the magic of the division. And it takes away how hard it is to get through a season. You win the division that you're in. Are you going to have years where your division is really bad and you could get in, like we saw with the NFC West a few times, where a 7-9 or 8-8 team made the playoffs? People are like, "What's going on?" Um, yeah, you say 10-7, I say 11-6. I mean, we're one game off, maybe 12-5 at best. But I mean, how many times did we, either the games where the offense couldn't get clicking and couldn't score enough points, or we scored enough and we were up, but we didn't score enough, right? We didn't score more than enough. We scored 18, 19 points or whatever, and we needed the defense to hold them under that, and they gave up 21 points or 22 points or something like that. Uh, I think we averaged something like 17 to 19 points a game last year. You put Kirk Cousins on that team last year, that team probably averages 26, 27, 28 points a game. If they average 28 points a game, then we're looking at, I can almost guarantee you, we're looking at 11 to 12 wins. Because the defense, you know, I think only one time, maybe like late in the season, they gave up some more, but they were just beat up. But if that defense, like how many times did we, like for a good chunk of the year, we didn't give up anything more than like 22, 23 points. And if we're scoring 26, 27 points a game, like we're winning all those games. That's what it came down to. And so, yeah, I'll even say this. I would agree at minimum, we're 10-7 last year with Kirk Cousins. But I think we're probably 11-6, 12-5, somewhere in that range if we had Kirk Cousins last year. So that's where I'm at.
Well, Junktown's not much, but it's home. Mostly we trade with people or let them forget their troubles for a bit. Of course, we have our share of problems.
Problems? What problems, sir?
From outside, we've had the occasional to do with the cons, but they've been pretty quiet lately. Inside, trouble's been from the skulls. And I hear some strange things happening down by the hub, but they haven't affected us yet. Knock on my mother in law's head.
Mother-in-law's got a wooden head. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I get what he was wanting to do. He was trying to make a play, but he had talked about that on at least two occasions. Like uh, he had to get past that. If he just throws that ball away, just throws it away, we at least get something out of it. We get a field goal. Worst case scenario, we didn't get anything out of that play other than we gave the ball away. So just sometimes you gotta just you gotta you know throw that ball away. You gotta sometimes, and hell, even take the sack. Whatever, if especially if you're in a situation where you've got to, you want to run that clock down. And I'm not saying that was that on that particular play, but sometimes take the sack. Keep that clock running. But you got to make those decisions. You got to make the right decisions in those moments, and he just too many times was not making the right decision. Uh, you're right, but I think where he was aiming was for Drake. But he was trying to pull a Mahomes is what he was trying to do. He was trying to be running one way, throw it back across his body, but his arms just not. He just doesn't have that kind of arm talent. He if he had, and he had the time to do it. If he had set himself a little bit better to make that throw, he could have hit Drake, and Drake was wide open. That's the thing. Drake was wide open. Um, I feel uh, I feel good about pass protection. The only real the two weakest links are going to be McGarry on the right, Dahlman in the center. But I think Dahlman has gotten better each and every year. So for his first year as a center, I think he had a lot of early problems with snaps. He still had some bad snaps last year, but that happens. But that got progressively better first season. I think last year was better than the year before. Uh, so that he's getting better and better. I think McGarry has gotten way better at pass protection than he was two, three, a couple seasons ago. Is he still like one of the better pass protectors out there? No, but I think he's kind of middle of the road, to be completely honest. Um, and you know, he's a guy that I think is continuing to get better at pass pro, but it just may take him a little while longer to really make it. So we'll see. But overall, I feel okay with the pass protection, and because he's not the blind side blocker for Cousins with McGarry, I think I also think Cousins is a better quarterback who's going to be able to recognize things better and maybe slide protection better than Ritter or Heineke was, and Dahlman. I mean, you got to remember Dahlman is still only a second year center, so maybe he missed some calls. I think Cousins is going to be better about making sure that the protections are slid properly. So that could help out a ton. And Cousins is a guy that moves in the pocket really well to evade pressure. So I think he's going to help out in that mode. Whereas Ritter, I think sometimes wasn't always going where he was supposed to. Same thing with Heineke. Uh, but I think Cousins has much better pocket presence than either one of those guys. So I think having a better pocket presence and being able to move and still get the ball downfield, I think he's going to do better in that from that perspective. So I think there's a lot of different things that can help out with that pass protection. Let's see.
Oh, we got tons to do. The Scum Pit's on the east side by the entrance. Great drinking place. Gizmos near there. And if you're hurting, Doc Morton's your man.
You know the story.
Bet. May not be as big as some in the hub, but people usually find what they're looking for. Take a look around.
Oh, is this the guy? Let's move over here. This is where I kind of got jacked up last time. All right.
Thanks for saving my life. It's a mighty brave thing to do. Now, it looks like we've got ourselves a situation here. I know Gizmo's behind this, but I need proof. You interested in helping?
Me? What do you need? Let's see. Me? What do you need me for?
Now, if I get proof, the people of Junktown will kick him out. The way I figure it, you need to either plant a bug at his place or wear a wire and get him to confess to you. Can you handle that?
Oh, sounds kind of dangerous.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It will be dangerous. But I'll owe you one. And Killian Darkwater always pays his debts. I tell you what, anything in the store, even the most expensive, it's yours. No charge. If it's a gun, I'll give you all the ammo you can carry. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I owe you. Here's the bug and the wiretap. You let me know when it's done. And good luck.
Done.
Well, howdy. What can I do for you today?
Let's barter. There was some stuff I did before this armor. A little further down. There it is. Armor. You can have that, sir. Oh, that's the bug and the wiretap. It sounds like. Okay, or it looks like. Oh, here's the other piece of armor. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, you didn't have all three of them, huh? Let's take that all done. 400. Oof, man, you have to give out a whole bunch more here. All right, so that's what 600, 700 caps. Done. Offer. All righty. All right, so I got 6 stem packs. All right. What do I have to do to help you get rid of Gizmo?
You have to wear a recorder and tape Gizmo confessing. Or plant this wiretap in his office. Either way. And we got him.
Done. All right. So let's do inventory. I just need to check something here. Bug tape recorder. So I am assuming I have to have the tape recorder here. All right. Done. Or not. All right. So at least we got through that firefight. Way better than the last time. Let's see. Let me go ahead and let me start this or save this real quick. Save game. We'll do this guy right here. Already exists. We'll do taking down Gizmo. Save. Just making sure one more time. Yes. Done. Let's see. Willie, in my opinion, what is the real reason Arthur Smith was fired? At the start of the season, he wasn't on the hot seat, but at the end, it was nuclear. Um, I mean, real reason. The real reason is he was 7-10. He was 7-10. His quarterbacks that he felt like he could win with, that he basically, it sounds like convinced everybody that this was the best way to go. Didn't work out. And there's a good chance that maybe at the end of the season he was like, he was asked like, what's the way to what's the way forward at this point? And whatever answer he gave was not satisfactory. You know, so they decided, all right, well, you know, we appreciate the your you know we appreciate you, but we're gonna have to go in a different direction. Like, I think that's where it ended up. So um, I just think I was somewhat surprised that he was actually let go. I thought that he would have at least one more season left, but that's just me. I know some people were like they were ready for him to go way earlier. Um, so it is what it is. I just don't want to. A lot of people are like, well, if this stuff doesn't work out with Cousins, if they doesn't win this year, we're looking at a new regime, or even he's got like 2 years. If we're not winning by then, new regime. I don't want to be that. Like I just don't want to be that kind of organization. That's like you get a year or two tops, and if you're not winning within a year or two, then we're moving on. Like what? No, you got to give a guy. I say at least 3 years, but I'd say somewhere between 3 to 5 years to implement, your systems, implement your culture, uh, all those things. But again, Arthur Blank, old man, and I get it. Like he's wanting success as much as possible right now because he knows he doesn't have a lot of time left. But at the same time, like you, the hardest thing to be in sports is patient. That is the hardest thing to do right now. And that's from an owner's perspective. It's from a fan perspective. It's hard to be patient, uh, especially if you see other teams that are out there like they've stunk, and then 1 year later they go 1 year, and then the second year in on a rebuild, they're like going to the NFC Championship game, like the Lions. They're 3 years in, they're far better off than we were. So it's tough when you see that, but I don't want to be the kind of organization that we're talking a year or 2 years, and if you don't have results within 2 years, you're out on the street. I don't want to be that. So but again, in my opinion, I think it was you got to the end of the season, they had a discussion, they wanted his answer on what was the best way forward. He said, or whatever he said was not satisfactory to them. So, VTW, do you like our secondary? Do I like our secondary going into the going into the season? Um, I would be okay with it. I will say this: when it comes to secondary, I don't know as like I don't feel quite as comfortable talking secondary as I do other areas of the field. Mainly, and the reason why is because my main exposure to that kind of stuff has been through watching games, and the majority of the time you're watching cornerbacks, it's at the very end of a pass. You don't see everything that happens in the lead up to it. Whereas offensive line, defensive line, quarterbacks, running backs, a lot of that stuff is very in focus, very in frame. You see it the entire play from start to finish almost. for the majority of them. So it's much easier to pick up on things. So I don't feel quite as comfortable. I will say that with the amount of coaching experience we have when it comes to DB coaches, if they feel comfortable with it, then I will defer to them. So um, I don't think Blank has proven that. I think the coaches that he, I mean, you can say that, you know, about Quinn. You could say that probably about Raheem. It sounds like Raheem wants to kind of go from outside in. But if that was the case, why didn't we get some cornerbacks in the draft? This cornerback or this particular draft outside of the Penix pickup was almost like super heavy in the trenches. So you're adding more into the trenches with a lot of your picks. Most of your picks um, are defensive, and they're not cornerbacks or safeties. They're linebackers, defensive end, defensive tackle. That's the trenches in my brain. So they're building up those trenches. And you don't really need to do that on the offensive side, but the defensive side, if nothing else, you need to bring in some young talent, and I think they did that. I think they did a good job with that in the draft. Um, but I don't think Blank cares one way or the other. I think Blank just wants to know what is your plan. You know, if you tell him the plan and he thinks it sounds good, then cool, he'll do it. But at the end of the day, I don't think he cares whether it's outside in, inside out. I don't think he cares one way or the other. I just think he wants, I also think Blank to a certain extent doesn't necessarily care what your plan is. When he interviews with you, I think um, he looks at things like uh, what kind of a leader does he feel like you can be? Does he feel like you embody? And I'll say this: look, Arthur Blanks had his start with Home Depot. And I worked for Home Depot corporate IT support. Okay, um, and part of the culture at Home Depot is this. It's a wheel. It's like a do the right thing kind of deal. It's supposed to guide you on like how you do different things um, as you're doing your job, right? The values wheel. And in that situation, the values wheel, I think, comes from Blank, uh, and the other owners when they were there, and it's stood the test of time, and it's still there to this day. And I think so. You look at that, and that I think very much informs how he runs the Falcons. Like he wants it run a certain way, but I think that's more so from a personality standpoint than how he wants the team built. And so forth. Uh, I think that true or false, all 8 of our draft picks make the team. I don't know. I mean, we got 3 6th round draft picks. It's very possible some of them get cut. But do I think it makes the team the actual roster, the active roster? I think it's false. All 8 of them make the active roster. Do I think that all 8 of them will either be active roster or practice squad? That's a good chance. Yes. All right, guys. It has. I've been going for a little over 2 hours now. I think I'm gonna call like my plan was to go for a couple hours today, see how you guys liked it. It seems like you guys like it a lot. So um, we'll see about next Saturday. Maybe next Saturday come in here do the same thing. Might be probably be the same game. I'll probably hold on to that the save, so we'll start right back from here. This will be my Saturday game to stream with you guys, and we can continue to talk more about Falcons football and things like that. So I very much appreciate it, guys. Again, you can find me at Jonathan M. Holder. Come by, say hi. I'm Twix. Grim, GRIMM 1128 for JR. You know, going, you're more than welcome to go say hi to him too. Uh, and maybe I could cajole him into coming on next weekend. See if he can come in and we can all talk football and watch and I can stream the game and so forth. But if not, then it'll just be me here by myself, by my lonesome, along with the great chat you guys are. And but yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. And we'll see you back here next Saturday. Most likely, again, look out on Twitter for any announcements, one way or the other. I'm going to say there's a good chance I'll be on from 1 to 3 next week as well. And until then, guys, I hope you have a great one. But as always, remember, rise up.